Hello, welcome to Thriving Career Moms. I'm Sarah, the founder of Thriving Career Moms, a certified career coach and interview coach, and I'm here to support career-changing women and women returning to work after maternity, secure the right job for them so that they can live a fulfilling life. And today in this series, which I call Get Inspired in Your Career, I have guests who are moms, and today we have our guest who is Adela Mehic-Dzanic, who is a director of business development working in Austria. Adela is also a Forbes featured female tech leader. She's also a speaker and a mentor. Adela is originally from Bosnia and she moved to Vienna almost 10 years ago. Her community calls her often as the networking queen. And that's where we connected together in one of the networking events that we joined, which is, I think, Women Tech Network. So let us welcome Adela and hear more about her and how she is making it happen as a mom and a career woman. I'm happy to have you, Adela. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, thank you for having me, Sarah. Your introduction brought some memories of the Women Tech Conference, which is a great place to be. So if for our listeners, if they haven't visited Women Tech Conference, it's once a year, and it's a great place where you can meet so many amazing women like Sarah from all over the world that are doing amazing things in a tech community. So Sarah, you said many things about myself. So I'm Bosnian, living and since recently I'm also an Austrian citizen. I live in beautiful Vienna and we have a daughter. She's soon 2.5 years, actually, just around the corner. I'm also working mom, businesswoman, working in a software industry, coming from the telecom industry. I do like to meet new people. I do get inspired by people's stories, and I do get a lot of, meet a lot of people through LinkedIn, for instance, like we met. And I do also, for many reasons, have my own YouTube channel called Making It in Austria, which is a place where I interview people that come from different walks of life, from all over the world, and they have found their new home in Austria. Most of them are actually in Vienna. Most of them are located in Vienna. We have one or the other in, for instance, in Innsbruck, and but it's a great community. And throughout sharing my story of starting my career in Austria, actually it's 10 years now. So yeah. It's a big
goes fast, right?
Goes fast. It goes fast, but if you look back, and I'm also a big fan of reflection, and also a big fan of tuning in with myself.
Yeah.
I love to introspect. I love to analyze. I love to talk to other people. And when I say I love to talk to other people and hear their stories, it's also, there's a lot of learning there, right? So and there's a lot of this, because I love the reflection. Then you go into this and think about, okay, if I have this thing that I have to solve, so how did Sabine solve it, or how did Dilek thought about it, and what kind of tools, methods, ideas, whatnot she applied when she moved here, right? Or raising a child, or putting a kid first time in the kindergarten, or coming back to work, all these things, all these important experience in our lives, and that forms us. It's not something that we have to go through it alone. And that's
can
why
learn from others as well. Yeah.
Learn from others. You meet
without experiencing it.
Exactly. So you don't have to experience everything, but you cannot. I learned also that you cannot really compensate for experience. Experience is what makes us, and what the way we choose on our we make decisions, but it's if you go with an open eye and an open heart and you listen to other people, how they manage things, because we all have, things that are, worrying us. We all think about things, what we want to achieve. We all have big hopes and dreams. We all want to achieve, we wake up in the morning and want to achieve things and succeed and so on. So if you go there and listen to people, so then you can open many doors. Then you can, things get open to you. And this is very important to share with your community here, with Networking Queen and so on. So how do you get to know so many people? Because you are curious, you're interested, you're open, you try to make, listen to other people's, I'm looking for a job. Okay, I know that some people are hiring. I know these people is looking at that. And I know that Malika worked at Bosch because my friend is now looking for a job there, and things like that. So all these things, they come together. So, and that's how you amplify everything what you did in life. And that's how you serve the community. That's how you, for me, it was very important to give back. There are many people that, helped us and supported us when we just moved to Austria without having a job, without knowing the language, without having anything sorted out, except for the wish that we want to try things. And that's what people were like, okay, why would you do that? So why would you do that? Why would you move to a completely new country and try something new and do something else and so on? And they were captivated by that idea. That's what
made you think about
them. Okay, and that's what they brought them then to share their stories of their first times starting things. And that's what they made them as well open their contacts and then their friends and say, okay, how about this, how about that? And that's what then years later brought me to this journey of me sharing my story and sharing my experience and opening, my community, my network to other people that are going through a similar way.
Okay, thank you. So if I understood, thank you, Amil, for this introduction. If I understood correctly, you are, I think you are addressing something that is like networking is a learning experience for you. And I mean, if it's like you are also interviewing someone or something, is also a learning something experience from others, the other person as well. And it's not like only I mean, I think
it's not about context,
as an invitation,
right? Yes, it's not about context. Exactly, it's not about numbers and events.
An invitation to consider networking as a learning experience. Is that
absolutely
right?
Absolutely.
And it gives you access to other people's experiences that you can learn from without experiencing it. Which is a win. That's how I understood what you
absolutely. So it's not about I always say it's not about numbers, but why I love the word networking still, because people say meaningful connections, building network, building a rapport, keeping in touch, giving away, and so on. The networking is because there's work in it. Because you have to stay in touch, right? So you cannot go in and then say, okay, this is what I need, this is where I am, and so on, and then disappear, right? So for me, networking means keeping in touch, building relationships. So it requires time, effort, resources, thinking, going out for the events, meeting people. If someone in my community is organizing an event, for instance, then I will do my best to show up there. Or I will do, if I cannot show up because now, I have a job and family. So my time is my priority is different. My time is structured very differently. 6 o'clock in the evening is not an option for me, but I will do my best to share it with the other people that might have the interest for it. That's how you do it. So it's not about, going there and say, okay, this is what I need. It's about, okay, this is where I am. Okay, so what I can do as well to, serve other people as well. And then because that's so natural, right? It's so human. Imagine someone comes to you and says, I need something from you, right? Why would you do that, right? So what is the, we always need this background information. And working in tech, you and myself, so we always need the background information. So why are we always curious? So if you curiosity is very important in tech. You need to have that, you need to be curious when, for instance, I work now with customers, right? I'm in a business development team. I work close with the customers. So when they ask me something, so I'm curious to understand why. Why do certain components in the network work the way they do? And why they do something in the future? And why this works like that? And what is a certain reason? And can we move it a little bit differently? And so on. So you always have to ask questions. Yeah, we have to curiosity and you have to ask questions, right? And that's how you also in the relationship, right? When you meet new people, you also ask questions, And then there's this German word, Fingerspitzgefühl. So which means you need to have the touch, when you meet a new person, which questions do you ask? Right? So you have to be very intuitive as well, and very much listening to, exactly. So what are the people talking about? So if you're meeting at an event, so then you look around yourself and say, okay, we met here. Maybe this person is interested because of a particular speaker, a particular topic, or the location, or maybe she's here because of the friend is organizing this event. So you have to, approach this a little bit in a like an inspector job. You have to want to make this work, right? So it's not about I'm here and then.
And at the same time, I think while listening to you now, when you approach it this way, that is like there is intention, you want to build the relationship, and you have put work on it, then it also removes the pressure when you meet someone for the first person. It's not like, I have to make it work now. No. It's not like, and get out from that person this, that you have first thing, like, you don't have that pressure that you have to get it to work now, and I don't know, the end goal that you have. First thing this, and the second thing is know that the person, when you build that relationship, even if at the beginning, I approached Adela because I wanted to, I don't know, have you for this interview, for example. But between the building the relationship, we learned some things. You learned also some things from me. Exactly. It's not like only me, for example. So even the other person, because I know many moms, women think like, networking is not good. Like, I mean, I'm approaching that person to ask them for a job. No, don't approach them to ask them for a job or like an interview or something. No, build a relationship with that person. Be curious, and then the person will learn from you, and you are going to win on the long term. That is like the networking, like good,
You have to feel it. You have to feel the connection. And it's true that you cannot build a relationship with everyone, and that's not the point either, right? So you will feel it. So once you meet the people, the way and now in the virtual sense, there's a great book from Infinite Mindset from Simon Sinek that you just were mentioning, because there's not end goal. I don't have an end goal with a person, and so. I meet the person, we talk, we like certain things, we exchange contacts, we stay in touch on LinkedIn. This person writes about certain topics, I like it, I read it, I go through it, I send a happy birthday, and maybe 5 years later I realize we're going to work in the same company, or I don't know, my friend is looking for a job there, so and I was like, okay, can I talk to you about this because my friend is looking for a job. So it's not about staying in touch all the time, and just like all the time, every 6 months come back to, and so there has to be reason for it, right? Because our time is very precious, and so what's the reason to come back? So there's something specific you want to share, so you have some exciting news, or you saw that person getting a new job and promoted, and so those are all the things you're like, you keep touch with other people, and there's no end goal to it. There's not like I want something from you and I have a strategic plan behind it. It's a very open discussion, so very come with
interested in
curiosity.
Some things, like,
exactly,
for example, like sharing content, I don't know, in the field that I want to go to later, I'm interested in. So this is like not
find a way that people get to know you as a person, because we connect as a person, not as a title. Of course, a certain position in certain hierarchies in certain industries, so that really makes sense, and I'm not against it, but find a way to connect with the person firstly. So what are this person cares about, what are their interests as well, so where can I help this person as well succeed, right? So maybe I can have a contact that could open doors for this person and so on.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about, you know, a lot about giving, and it's just being out there, active as well, meeting other people, you know, making the introduction and just having fun while you do it. You have to love it to stay in it for a long time.
I think also you have to explore it as well. You have the courage to explore it if you never did.
Yes, exactly. So there's one question I always get when I do these networking workshops, and I did many of them for different associations, and it's like introvert, extrovert. There's like typical question that always comes in, like, oh, it's easy for you because you seem to be an extroverted, or it's easy for my colleague because it's an extroverted. But we should move away from that. You know, it's I see that like putting us in certain box. So we all have to come back to the point, okay, what is that I would like to, so why would I like to network, right? For me, for instance, networking, so going out and meeting people, didn't came when I was in Bosnia, because I already knew so many people and I already have, you know, settled things. When I moved to Austria, for instance, we needed to move fast because we had certain pressure. So that the timeline, you have the visa, you have the limited resources, you needed the job. So you need to move kind of fast. So so you need to go out of your comfort zone. Yeah, that's for sure. All of us. So even though if I'm here for very long years in networking, I also have, you know, next level. You know, how do I get to the CEO of this company? How do I get to CEO? So how do I speak with other people? You know, there's always next level in whatever games or so. And
networking helps you then with the,
of course. The thing is, with me, it moves with my private and personal life. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty when you find it, that it moves with your private and personal, right? So in my professional life, so I'm in a business development team. So for me, building relationships, being out, meeting people, delivering on my promises, keeping my word, it's crucial. It's the one of the most important skills you need. And then in my private life, so for me, it's somehow that the circle closed it, and it goes from one, you know, pot to the other, right? Because we all, if we are private with friends, you have, you know, 20 people that you can, you know, maybe introduce me, or maybe one of the other people that I can reach out through you. So it all moves, right? So it's very, you know, sipping from one cup to another.
Yeah. Okay, as we already, I mean, got into the networking part first, for you as a mom who is now, like, I know, because when we talked before, like you had to, you also mentioned it when you had like your last talk, how you had to reduce, I mean, to do some compromises because you are a mom, on like how it was before joining more events, but now no. How do you keep up with the networking? How do you approach that so you keep having that asset of networking in your growth journey?
That's a very good question. And since you mentioned compromise, we had a long discussion in my MBA. The compromise, very negative word, and the professor was very, very clear that's a very negative word. And we had a lengthy discussion. He said, go and check the dictionary. But it's about priorities, Sarah, and it's about growing, leveling up in life, right? Because now I'm a mom, right? And through my life, I had this privilege to really live it fully, right? When we were two of us, so I traveled for 3 days a week, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I went out, I met new people, I went for different events. I really enjoyed it fully. And when we became parents, then I'm enjoying that as well fully, right? So for me, it's really, so I'm leveling up, right? And for me as well, you know, after 6 o'clock, I don't want to go to an event. So for instance, that is one of the, you know, and it's always the family discussion, right? So you need to settle this. There are millions of opportunities out there, but it's very important that you're in tune with yourself. So what are the things that are important for me, you know, as a person, as a mom, and what are the things that are important for a family? Because if I am going out and having this event, of course, there will be always exceptions, and that's the thing. But I said, like, okay, but I'm at work. My husband is at work. Our daughter's in kindergarten, so it's also work. And when we come together, so what I love most is having the playtime together, having dinner together. And I did, like, for some period of time while she was like a year and a half, I did many things for instance, as a vice president in the Businesswomen of Bosnia and Herzegovina in Austria. I did also in the Female Leaders Network, which I enjoyed tremendously, and I'm still keeping in touch, and I'm still, meeting, but in a different setting. And for me, I said, I want to have dinner together at 6 or 5:30. That's the important part of the day for me, where we come together, where we tell about the day, how it was, where we share things, where we talk about what comes next, and how was in kindergarten, and now she's in this phase when she says she has many words and show us so many new things, and then this is important for me. This is the importance of all the importances. So how do I keep them up with people?
Yeah, it's a priority.
It's my decision. It's a priority. It's my decision. It's my decision. So I could have said, no, I want to go to, 5 events and that's it. But for me, I tried different things, and that's what you said, exploration. It's quite important. Try different things out. I always had this discussion with new moms coming back to work. I was like, how many hours? And how do I do this? And how the home office? How the kindergarten? How the school? How this? I said, try it out. You need to try different things out and then find what works for you. I couldn't imagine doing this 2 years ago, right? It was, I was in a different position, but now my life is a very different structure. Maybe in 3 years, probably in 3 years, it will be very different. So for me, this is very, very sacred time. And how I do it then with my community and with the network and everything, meeting people, is throughout the day, right? I meet moms for a walk through the park, for a coffee, or we meet for a lunch. For instance, if I'm working in the office, I go for lunch with people so that I want to meet, or I go here for lunch, or we go at 3 o'clock and we meet with kids. They bring their kids, I bring my kid, and the kids play, and we have we chat, we talk, we keep in touch. I give calls, I join, I share the events, we chat. And so there are different ways how you can settle it. So at the end of the day, for me, it's important, how do you feel at the end of the day? So if I'm exhausted, if I'm just running and I don't feel like, I don't feel full at the end of the day. So this is, then we need to try to change things differently.
Try something else.
Try something else, that's what works for me. And then we always revise it and and I can tell you, I'm now I'm a really great place to be, with where I feel, okay, I have some sort of authority over my schedule. So I know a little bit, I can plan, I can do certain things. She's growing, I can do more things, and she's curious about different things. So this comes with time, right? But it has to do with a lot of yourself, introspective reflection, discussion, having a support in the family, partnership, having kindergarten, place, having good support at work, and so on. But it takes time to do that, to figure it out. For me, it's been now almost a year since I came back, went back to work. I was about a year and a half on a maternity leave. So
it takes time
It takes time, you need to do this.
Take the step to reflect and to set your priorities.
Exactly.
And experiment with things, explore until you find what works for you.
I think we in tech are used to this. You never do things in one run, right?
Yeah,
you have iterations, you have sprints, you have milestones, right? So for me, that's a natural process. You don't launch a software and then go somewhere and then don't revise it. You always come back to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Okay. So for you took a parental leave of almost 2 years, right?
Year and a half. Yeah.
Year and a half. How was it? I mean, how was your return? What helped you make your return smooth? Because first question, what helped you make it smooth about your return?
About my return, so I had a great support. So in the company, so when I was coming back, I had a really good start. I had the company grew while I was on maternity leave. So we got new people, more organizational structure, more customers, and I kept over the maternity leave. I kept in touch with the company. So I kept in touch with, for instance, with my manager. So we always had our every now and then WhatsApp calls and what's happening, what's new, what's here and there. So I was always like in touch because it was important to me and I wanted to keep in touch. And as I said, throughout my life, I managed to work really for companies that are, family oriented. So all the founders of our company have kids. So for me, when I was assigned to move in 2019 to our company, so it was important to me. So the language that people use. So and there's, I have 2 kids and they're in school, and all these things. I paid attention to it, and that made a big decision, a big difference for me choosing this company or the other company, right? So it was a really hard. So on one point you have a lot of support, on the other hand it's a day-to-day work that you have to put in. So and it was a big change for us, for everyone in the family, because our daughter started the kindergarten, I started working, so there was a lot of home office, I must say. The adjustment at the kindergarten wasn't very smooth, or it was, in her own tempo, and not what you read on Google, that it takes 2 weeks to have your kids settled in the kindergarten. So don't trust everything what's in Google. Talk to people, and talk to people that are very honest and happy to share with you. So I would say the first 3 months were a lot of adjustment for me. That when I came back to work, because as the company grew, there were new people on board, new projects. So I was, you're in a meeting and people are sharing like about this project, and there are like these things that they did, a milestone, and like the shortcuts, and you're like, okay, what is it? I need to read that.
Learning about it,
again. So I would say that the first 3 months. So yeah. Were at the very
listening more to people and like adjusting.
Exactly. So what is this, and orientating, or what is this now, and how do I do this, and where's, I don't know, the documents, and working
proactive, I think, about things.
Exactly. So approach the people, tell the people. I was very honest when I came back to work. So I said I have a kid, so everybody knew it. So there was nothing to hide, nothing unusual. So I said I have a kid, I have to leave at 3:00 now, because I have to pick her up from the kindergarten, and she just started, and we had a hard adjustment period, so I will follow up in the afternoon. So and then we have these core times between 10 and 3. So we try to put as many meetings in that period, so if we need to meet people, and so on and so forth. So it's very important to be really, in a supportive environment, of course, but as well, to understand yourself, right? So what is that, what is that you can do at the moment coming back, and what is that they can expect from you, I don't know, in 3 months or 6 months, because now it's a very different situation.
Did you actually have a discussion? Sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. Did you actually have a discussion about this, like what you can do now, and what to expect from you in 6 months, and so on?
Yeah, we had this, yearly reviews, and I had been in touch with the HR, so with our Johanna, so we discussed this through. So they were very in tune, they knew about it, so they knew all of this, and I was not the only one. So we have many, young parents in the company, so they were very much prepared for it, right? And saying that everybody in the company has kids, and has small kids. Some of them are older now, so there is a lot of this understanding for it, right? So it means like, okay, I need to leave now, but let's catch up over the phone, because I'm now on the way to the kindergarten, and and nowadays with different tools and setup, so you can do a lot, right? So compared to 5 years ago, and so on.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is important discussion. It's important discussion where you are, and having this, with your manager regularly, that you can sense it. Okay, this is where I am at the moment, and this is all natural, because you don't want to burn yourself. And this is another topic.
Okay, my last question, because I know the time almost over.
Yes.
It's really nice to speak with you. What would be your advice or tip for someone who is going back to work and want to, let's say, get a promotion and so on? What would be your advice for them?
Well,
because you got a promotion, that's why you got a promotion. So I'm like, okay, what would you advise someone who is willing to grow in the position or so on?
I wouldn't say that these things are correlated, right? Coming back to work from maternity leaving, that you cannot get promoted if you come back. There are millions of different stories where you can read of people like being in a financial industry and now moving into I don't know, automotive, doing something completely different, doing a master's study for 2 years and starting completely new job, getting to another position, better salary, better conditions, bigger company, whatnot, whatever people are looking for.
You mean it's possible?
Of course, there's no way that you can say, okay, you've been on maternity leave, now you come back and then you need to sit for 2 years because you've been on a maternity leave. And there are millions of studies and many women out there, also in my community, who are, showing that it's possible, right? And it's possible because being a mom doesn't mean you disappear or you don't learn, or you actually learn faster than anyone else that you can think of, because within a day or within an hour you have to figure out so many things, and within a year you had to readjust. Every single day basically is a different day where you don't have a routine. You have something, but then you have to readjust. So you're always working, and then your skills on organizing, your skills on empathizing, your skill on carrying, your skill on being patient, your skill on listening, and going through again and again, organizing everything, managing, and sometimes with few hours of sleep, it's extraordinary. And this you do for at least a year, for instance. So that's a maternity leave, or 6 months. You do it on a day basis. So imagine how many, if you would doing a training for Ironman or triathlon, this is what you're doing basically. So when you come back, you have extra assets. Your suitcase is much bigger and fatter than when you.
It's not a vacation.
It's not a vacation. Some people were saying vacation. And then so if someone says in a meeting it's a vacation, you were not on a vacation. You were really training for,
exactly.
You had a Spartan training in everything and anything in the shortest period of time and with less support, right? Because for instance, for us being here without any parents, exactly. So there are no grandparents. There is no uncles, aunts, and sisters, and kids from sister, and so on. So there's no one. And basically, you have to figure it out. It's like building your own company. And there are some talks from Selma Prodanic, for instance. She compared, the being a parent, being a mom, with building your own company, because that's what you have to do every single morning. And what's the amazing about it? And so the motivation the moms have, it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. So you don't come to work and say, let me have a coffee. I'm just like exaggerating with this, but you come there and it's like, I want to do these 3 things. I want to make it work. I will call 15 people if it needs, because by 12 o'clock, I want to do it. I want to have it done and I want to send it out. And this is an enormous asset.
Prepares you for
it's insane. It's insane as much as you think about it. So allow yourself to think about and reflect about this, because it's a fast time that we live in. But think about what you achieve in one single day, and how much, and with how fast and how efficient and how clear, and all these communication skills, how much they improve, because you have to bring your kid, even though she wants to see 13 things in the park, and you have to be in 15 minutes in the daycare because you have to catch the next train, and all this, it's amazing. It's just
how can you express and show that
exactly, and then you come with that big package, like it's huge, and just put it there. So like keep it in mind, it's a mindset. It's a mindset shift. So no one can tell you. Of course, there are constraints with the time and kids getting sick. We had it all. We tried with different things. It happens. You are down for 2-3 days or a week. And so, of course, without the support, without the support from work, without support from home, it's really, it's tough. It's not unimaginable. But the story that I'm sharing is a very privileged one, Sarah. It's living in the heart of Europe, living in Vienna, in the best urban city, having support at work, having support in the company that I work for, having the energy, enthusiasm, and love to do what I do, and being happy as a mom.
But one can look for it. I mean, it's true. I mean, I completely understand. It's like, some people don't have all of this together, but let's say, we're having you, Adela, it's a proof that you can reach to that point. You weren't as well. I mean, I think when you left Bosnia, you were looking for a better situation and so on.
Yes.
And you didn't have all this, what you have now, but you worked for it.
Exactly.
And slowly it came, and then it's possible. I mean, that's what I want. It's possible for someone else to step by step get into that, not giving up on yourself. And as you said, like the reflective thing, and
you need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a good community, at least 5-10 people, a good circle. Yes. It's not something like, okay, you can do a lot on your own. Of course, it requires, you will be always the first person, you initiating things, but build up that circle, you know. And there are many stories I can tell, and I always share it. There are 10 women at least, you know, that, you know, always are there with me. So I'm never alone. So even they are not present physically, they're always thinking about me, and they are vouching for me. And you think about things, and then they solve it for you.
Yeah,
because they believe in you, and you do the other way around somewhere at some point. So build that, you know, build that circle, that you are never alone, and there's always someone thinking with you and for you, and then, you know, it's possible. Yeah.
Thank you, Adela. Thank you so much. How can people connect with you?
Best LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay, I will share your LinkedIn with them. And thanks a lot for the discussion. I hope for our listeners that they enjoy it, and let us know in the comments. And let's keep in touch, Adela.
Thank you, Sarah. It was a pleasure, and I love that we matched the outfits without talking about it. Almost, you know, the print. I loved it when I came there. I was like,
true, yeah. That's true. In harmony.
You see, we haven't spoke about it, so it's not planned, but it happened. So love it.
Yeah. Okay. Have a nice rest of the day.
You too. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Keep in touch. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Adela. And if you are ready to find that career that is fulfilling for you, and to become in that place where you are satisfied with where you are in your life, both being able to tune to your commitment in your family, and at the same time continue growing in your career, then I invite you to book your Unlock Your Professional Potential strategy session, where we go together through your vision, where you want to go, your current situation, unlock any challenges that you have, and you will leave inspired to take action toward that vision you have. In the end, if you also have there is a match for your needs, then we will see how we can work together. I invite you to book this call now, and let's have a chat. Bye.